It's my very real pleasure to introduce to you Dirk Feinauer, Principal of Feinauer and Associates. And Dirk, you're legendary in the field of in legal circles in Perth, and we would like your sage advice on what you can help a purchaser or a seller with in their transaction.
Well, thank you very much, Jim, for the kind introduction. Very kind indeed. We've had the great privilege of working together across a range of transactions over the years, over the few years that we've known each other, which would be, in fact, going back to the early 90s. One of the very common forms these days of transferring a business is by way of share sale agreements, and they pose a special set of issues and challenges as far as the transaction is concerned.
And just on that, a share sale agreement can be highly effective when there are issues regarding licenses or arrangements that need continuity. So a properly structured share sale agreement can affect and cover all of those points very well. Yeah.
So share sale agreements are often employed in circumstances where there is some taxation planning involved, or in particular where people are keen to preserve the perception that the company is still intact. Now, the latter part, for one thing, is sometimes a misconception. Share sale agreements will trigger off assignment provisions often in many circumstances, and for instance in leases will provide that an assignment will occur in circumstances where there is a significant change in the shareholding. The same with bank documents, other loan documents, finance documents, third-party contracts, and so forth. So yes, they have the capacity to preserve the continuity perception, but it is not as all-encompassing as some suspect.
I think it's very true that in all of these agreements, whilst they may appear simple in point, it requires a specialist and an educated point of view. And I know over the years that your company, Feinauer and Associates, has always been at the forefront of structuring these documents so they are effective and simple for people to operate and understand.
We take a lot of pride in communicating with our clients in an accessible way, and that also reflects in our contracts. Part of what we at Feinauer Commercial Lawyers perceive as being very important is that the client understands the context of what they're doing. Now, sometimes people come to us because the transaction is taxation driven and they ask for a share sale agreement, but they're not fully conversant across the ideas that are involved in the sale of a business by way of shares. And of course, one of the big criterion is that the entire thing moves across. That means the company is being picked up with, for instance, potential taxation issues that lie in history. There could be litigation pending or somewhere in the woodworks in due course. So there are special issues that require managing. And the issues that could be overlooked are as simple as leaving funds in a bank account at the time of settlement, and those funds which are not intended potentially to move across, actually moving across to the buyer because the buyer picks up the whole of the corporate structure. And so our approach to this is that we want to communicate with our clients about their needs, about their desired outcomes, of course. We want to communicate with them about what our documents convey and then tailor them as a solution to their needs.
And I think that's a really important point. My experience with the work that you've done over the years, Dirk, is that you go to great lengths to explain the pluses, the minuses, the points that need to be understood in a legal agreement. So if you're looking to prepare and purchase a business by way of a share sale, with all of the elements that encompasses, you must take the time to have that correctly and, from a legal point of view, professionally prepared. And Dirk, I know that you will always attend to that most professionally and most competently.
Oh, it's very kind of you, Jim. We do take a lot of pride in our law practice to build relationships with people. I'm very strong on the idea that we want to talk with our clients rather than talking at our clients or have our clients talk at us without the relevant degree of professional input. So as a practice over the years, we've built a very strong referral base of people like your good self that appreciate the fact that we take a moment to think about what the client wants to achieve rather than accept the instructions at face value and then tailor the solutions. And I think this particular part of the service is starting to be a slightly lost theme in the law. There is a lot of talk about the internet and various computer services replacing documents. But at the end of the day, as lawyers, we've always been assisted by precedents. We've always been assisted by, if you like, the templates or the patterns to the cloth we're cutting. But no solution can really be properly applied until you fully understand the transaction, the needs of your client, and you create a tailored situation into that environment.
So for a tailor-made solution to your business requirements, please contact Dirk Feinauer at Feinauers at any time.
Thank you very much, Jim. We're always looking forward to any referral through your good self and indeed through the very good people at GMO. And as I said, we're very pleased to have had this relationship for many, many years.
Thank you, Dirk.